If you open a map that tracks ships, zoom in on the Indian Ocean, then turn on live tracking, the vital arteries of global commerce become obvious.
Without access to it, trade between Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia would basically grind to a halt.
These are the choke points, the critical passages that fuel the world economy. For India, they're non-negotiable, carrying almost all its trade and energy.
Since the Indian Ocean is named after India, it is quite integral to India's worldview.
But it's also important to another giant. China is pouring billions into ports, infrastructure, and naval expansion. And that has India alarmed.
China is not violating any international rules, and China is not infringing upon India's interests. Therefore, they have to change the mentality.
What were once obscure specks in the vast Indian Ocean are now the silent targets in a looming struggle, one that could choke global trade and tilt the balance of power.
There's increased competition between the US and China, between China and India as well, vying for influence within that.
President Donald Trump's shift in foreign policy has cast uncertainty on the US's role in the region.
I will put America first.
And opened doors for China. At the centre of it all are tiny countries like Mauritius, which find themselves courted by powers that might once have overlooked them.
Mauritius is known for its beautiful white sand beaches, the lagoon, the great five-star hotels, and the hospitality of Mauritius. But it's more than that. Mauritius controls 2.3 million kilometers of economic exclusive zone in the Indian Ocean. It sits in the middle of the maritime trade, so it shows how strategic, important Mauritius is.
Its heat sweetens those sugar canes on which the island's economy depends.
When I was born, the country was living off sugarcane plantation. We saw a kind of a surge of interest from the early 2000s from China. It shifted from China to India, leveraging on the fact that Mauritius is also known as Little India or Chota Bharat, as we say. And these countries do help us, be it China, be it India. So it's helping the country to prosper.
But just beyond these pristine shores, military bases. On the Agalega Islands, a territory governed by Mauritius, India has constructed a new airstrip to land surveillance aircraft, in large part to track Chinese activity. Meanwhile, Diego Garcia, another island Mauritius has sovereignty over, has proved strategic for US and UK military power, with a base there since the 1970s.
When powers become global, one thing they want to do is kind of spec the globe with military bases to project power internationally. And when you think about that kind of network, it's something that China is starting to set its sights on.
But China is not alone. India's Agalega base signals a shift in its global ambitions too, driven by economic expansion and tension with China.
India and China have had ties dating back millennia. The border war in 1970